Hey guys, so today I decided I'm going to be doing a sit down chat with me video, and I'm going to be doing a video on just talking about why I'm moving barns again. So in case you guys didn't know, which you guys probably didn't because I haven't said anything yet, but I'm going to be moving barns again April 1st. When I first got my horse, I had her in one barn close to my house. But when that place closed down, I had to move her to another barn, which is the barn tour, my most recent barn tour video. And that is the barn I'm currently boarding my horse at now. So I am going to be moving her from that barn to another barn. It's a little bit further away, but it's still doable to go every day or whenever I can or don't have like tests or a ton of homework or whatever. It's still doable, but it's just a tiny bit further away. And basically, before I go and do the moving my horse video and a barn tour video, I wanted to just explain to you guys why I'm moving barns again and why I decided to move my horse again. So basically, when I got here, it was a barn, but it wasn't a professional barn. There wasn't much professionalism. It was very just laid back and casual. There was not much to it, and at first I was fine with that. I didn't mind like it being laid back and casual as long as they were taking proper care of my horse. So then I started thinking more about it, and I realized they were really overcharging for board. So when I was checking out the barn before I moved my horse there, I asked the girl running it if I have unlimited hay for my horse. I know unlimited hay, I can't have too much of it because it costs a lot and stuff, but she told me yes, as much as my horse needs. So my horse was in the first few weeks staying in a pasture that had absolutely zero grass in it. Zero. There was no grass there whatsoever. And I was not very happy about it, but I knew at least she was getting enough hay overnight. So I truly believe in letting the horse eat food throughout the entire day. Whenever they're hungry, they pick at food, such as grass or hay. Obviously, my horse is fed twice a day, but besides that, I like her to have the option to be able to eat forage throughout the entire day, whenever she chooses. I also believe in having water for the horse 24/7. And I know that's obvious, but apparently not obvious to the girl running the barn, because one day I showed up and there was no water in my horse's trough. And I got the excuse that my horse probably drank it all. However, she filled it up that morning apparently, and I came like an hour after she filled it. And I know my horse doesn't drink that much water in that much time, and the water trough was completely dry, and my horse is the only horse in this pasture. So that was like a little off to me. So then later on, she told me that I could only have 4 flakes of hay for my horse. So now I'm like, so my horse doesn't get any grass throughout the day, and now she only gets 4 flakes of hay at night. Something's wrong. And by the way, I'm really sorry if this like story is scattered. It's just me trying to collect my thoughts and trying to figure out exactly what I want to say. So I apologize for that. But anyway, back to the story. I wasn't happy with the hay situation and what happened with the water. Also, I noticed that on the contract it said that my horse's stall will be cleaned twice a day. That's fine by me to only clean the stall once, but I would have liked for the stall to be cleaned in the morning and not in the afternoon, because what has been going on was my horse would stay in at night and go out throughout the day, since it is winter time, quote unquote. And I like to keep her inside her stall when it's coldest, which is at night, and then outside when it's the warmest. So that has been her turnout schedule for past few weeks since I moved to the barn. And my horse's stall was being taken care of in the evening, so like 7 o'clock, 7:30, right before my horse went into her stall. However, I would have preferred it to be done in the morning because I wanted to go out there during the day or something and for my horse's stall to be clean so I could put her in to groom her. But instead, I was having to waste time cleaning out the stall, and then when I went to leave the barn, I'd have to put my horse back out in the pasture anyway. So basically, the girl never really had to clean the stall because I was always having to clean it because I came throughout the day. So I would have liked for the stall to be cleaned at least in the morning if she was going to clean it once a day, because I know there's no horse in there 24/7, so there's no need to clean it twice a day, but I would have preferred it to be cleaned in the morning. And then the other problem is the water buckets in her stall. I've come to the barn and her water buckets have been completely empty and she's been in her stall with nothing to drink. So I'd have to go fill up the buckets, even though I pay really expensive board for someone to do this for me. I have to go and fill up the water, and I don't mind cleaning out her stall and filling up her water buckets, and there's actually times where I feed her too. I don't mind doing any of that, but at least I would like to just pay for the hay because that's all that she was really giving me. I did most of the labor. I paid for food. All she did was pay for water and hay and shavings. And I only got 1 bag of shavings a week, even though my horse's stall was huge and never had any shavings in it. And I don't think I was actually getting 1 bag of shavings. I think at one point I was actually getting 1 bag of shavings every 2 weeks, which was frustrating, but whatever. So that's another problem. Another problem is there was one other boarder there besides me, and that boarder kept taking my stuff to use for her horse. And I was really annoyed because I paid good money for that stuff and I didn't want somebody else using it and then possibly breaking it or like dirtying it, because I take really good care of my stuff and I make sure everything is clean, and so I didn't really want anybody like dirtying it or something or like breaking it. And then that same boarder would ride in the arena, and the arena was my horse's first pasture when she was there. And so to solve her problem of having a horse in the arena / pasture, she would put my horse in this really, really small round pen that wasn't completely secure. It was like bent and crooked and all the fences were messed up, like the metal fencing was all messed up. So I was really frustrated that my horse was put in like such an enclosed environment. Plus, she had a halter on, and I'm really protective of my horse, so I like to make sure like she doesn't have a halter on because I've seen like horrible halter injuries. So I'm really protective of that, of her in general. Like I clean her buckets once a week with like bleach and everything. I'm super protective of my horse. Like crazily obsessed because I don't want anything to happen to her. I don't want any vet bills. I'm obsessed with her well-being. So I didn't like the fact that she had a halter on in such a closed, tight space where it could get caught on anything, because there was a tree right next to it where some of the branches were like in the round pen and it was at her face level. But good thing is she wasn't there long because I pulled up and I saw her in there and I took her out right away and I put her in her stall and took off her halter. So that was the other problem. And then the next problem is the barn manager was very, very hard to get in touch with. It was really hard. She's hardly at the barn, which worries me in case my horse like gets sick or something. I want somebody to be able to be there and like catch it as soon as she like, if she colics or something, I want somebody to be there to catch it right when she starts colicking. and for someone to know what to do. However, this person did not have any like medication here at this barn, like the injection to help with the colic pains. She had none of that, which concerned me because I don't want to have to like call the vet when I could just put an injection in her and she'll be better and just walk her for hours. I'd rather just do that than call the vet and pay a really expensive vet bill for the vet to do the same thing that I could have done or that she could have done. So that was another thing that wasn't a huge problem, but it was kind of frustrating to know. And then the last problem that led to my decision of moving my horse, and it was the fact that I have a water bucket that I personally paid for, and I have it in my horse's stall along with a heated water bucket that she has, that the girl who runs the barn owns. It's her heated water bucket. However, my horse, it was included in the stall board. So there's that. So there's 2 water buckets, a heated one and a regular one. The regular one I paid for. So I went to the barn yesterday, and I went to my horse's stall and I went to go fill up the water buckets. My black water bucket was missing. The heated one was there, but my regular water bucket wasn't there. And I look around the barn because I'm really frustrated because I paid for this bucket with my own money, and I know buckets aren't really expensive, but I just like to take really good care of my stuff, and I like to make sure nothing goes missing, and I like to keep everything clean. I'm a little OCD like that. I just like everything in order. So I couldn't find my bucket, and I looked all over the barn, and I could not find this bucket. And so finally I text the barn owner or the barn manager, and she doesn't answer me for like hours later, and she finally tells me, "Oh, I went to a show, but I took your bucket." And I was like, why would you have your own bucket? Meanwhile, like right next to my horse's stall there's a sink, and right next to the sink there was a huge bucket. I don't know why she just didn't take that bucket. Why'd she take mine? Like, that's a little rude to take my bucket, like without even telling me either, because it seemed like she wasn't going to tell me until I asked her. And she didn't even respond to me like right away. She waited like hours and hours later to finally respond to me that she took my water bucket without asking or without permission. Like, she should have asked, and she should have given permission. And you know what? She just put the bucket right back, and she didn't clean it. She didn't do anything to it. And that's also really frustrating because, like I said before, I like to make sure that my horse stays healthy, happy, and just safe in general. And so I don't feel like my horse should be crossing buckets with horses like that, especially since she took this bucket to a horse show. So I don't know what she did with the bucket while she was at the horse show, but it was really concerning. So when she got back that night, after I bleached the entire bucket, I put it back in her stall and put water back in and filled it up all the way, and it was fine. But I just don't like the fact that she took my bucket without asking, or without letting me know, or without having intentions of letting me know, because it seemed like she didn't have any intentions of letting me know. And then there was also other little problems like hay nets, because I have a friend who talks to vets, farriers, horse nutritionists, and all that, and she gets their advice and opinions. And a vet once told her, like, if the holes of a net is small enough, you're more than welcome to hang it up like on the side of the on the stall. Like, make sure it won't like slide around the stall. Just attach it to like a piece of wood or something on the stall, but let it so that the hay net is touching the floor. As long as like the hay nets are small enough so the horse won't get its foot stuck in it. Because when the horse is in their stall, they should be eating at their natural eating position, which is with their head down, not straight and not up. So I couldn't have the hay net at the height I wanted it to be, even though at first she told me I could. Then later she changed her mind and told me I couldn't, which is ridiculous because at first she told me yes, and then she told me no. So I was really upset with all the contradicting that was happening, and it was just really upsetting, and I just didn't like the fact that I didn't really know anything. And I really didn't like the fact that we were paying so much for really nothing, and it was really low quality. I currently found a barn that's only a little bit more expensive than this barn, but it's definitely worth it. There's an actual full arena. There's 2 full arenas, a dressage arena. There's several pastures full with grass. The grass is so green there. I checked this place out in person. I met the lady. I liked her. She's always there. There's always somebody on site, and there's actually a college student on site. That's the person who's on site who lives there, and they're going to be a vet. So apparently they're always there on site, and they have like experience with horses. They're going to be a vet when they get out of school. So I'm really comfortable with this person always being there and living on property in case of emergency or whatever happens. And this place is just overall beautiful, and I love the people there, and everything just seems like nice, calm, relaxing, and it looks like it's definitely worth the money because I also don't have to pay for food anymore, which is another thing. Like the old barn I was paying, the barn I'm at now, I was paying really expensive, like it was really expensive every month, plus I was paying for food. Like that's a little excessive. This place is just a tiny bit more expensive, but I no longer have to pay for food. I no longer have to worry about food. I have actual arenas. I have 75 acres of trail rides, and it's just overall so beautiful here. They have hot and cold water, which is something I haven't had the privilege of having. So hopefully this barn works out. I'm really having fingers crossed that this place works out. They also have a trainer there, so hopefully I could start again with a trainer and get advice for what's best to do with my horse. And I'm just really excited for this move, and I will actually be sure to videotape most of the move to just show you guys what we did that day. And it's usually pretty laid back. I mean, we're not new at moving, obviously, but just to show you guys what we do when we move, I will be sure to film that, and I will be sure to film a barn vlog the week after, so that way we're all settled in and stuff. And I'm sorry this video was like really long, and I'm really sorry about that. I just had like a lot to say, but I hope you guys know now why I want to move barns again. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys stayed for this long, thumbs up to you guys. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye!